There are cars, and then there are legends. Some cars are just metal, rubber, and glass, designed to get you from point A to point B. But others, they have a soul. They carry a story, a presence that makes your heart beat a little faster just by looking at them. The Dodge Viper is one of those legends. It's a car that feels like it was summoned from the darkest corners of a gearhead's imagination. A machine built with a single, terrifying purpose, pure, unadulterated performance. It's not just a car. It's a statement, a challenge, an automotive exclamation point that screams defiance at every corner. It's a modern-day Cobra, coiled and ready to strike. The Viper doesn't just enter a room, it commands it. Its long, dramatic hood seems to stretch on for miles, hiding a monstrous engine underneath. Its wide, aggressive stance and signature side pipes give it a look that is both beautiful and menacing. From the moment it was conceived, the Viper was never meant to be a sensible daily driver. It was designed to be an absolute handful, a car that demanded respect and skill from anyone brave enough to get behind the wheel. It was a throwback to an era of raw power, a time before computers and electronic nannies decided how much fun you were allowed to have. This car was America's answer to the European supercar elite, but it did it in its own brash, unapologetic way. What makes the Viper so special, so mysterious? It's the combination of its brutal simplicity and its world-class performance. In a world of increasingly complex and digitized automobiles, the Viper remained stubbornly analog. It was a sledgehammer in an age of surgical scalpels. Driving one was an experience, a full-body workout that engaged all your senses. You could feel the heat radiating from the side pipes, smell the unburnt fuel, and hear the glorious offbeat roar of its 10-cylinder heart. It was a car that connected you directly to the road, for better or for worse, making every drive an unforgettable adventure. This essay is the story of that legend. We're going to peel back the layers of the myth and uncover the truth behind America's most outrageous supercar. We'll explore its origins, from a wild idea in the minds of automotive giants to a production car that shocked the world. We'll look at its evolution, its triumphs on the track, and the enduring legacy it left behind. So buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the history of the one and only Dodge Viper, a car that proved American muscle could not only compete with the best, but could also be something entirely, wonderfully different. In the pantheon of American performance cars, three names stand tall: the Ford Mustang, the Chevrolet Corvette, and the Dodge Viper. Each one is a legend in its own right, representing a different facet of the American automotive dream. The Mustang is the everyman's hero, the pony car that brought style and performance to the masses. It's accessible, customizable, and has a history stretching back over 6 decades. It represents freedom and youth, a symbol of open roads and endless possibilities. The Mustang is the friendly, popular kid in school that everyone knows and loves, a true icon of American culture that has been celebrated in movies, songs, and hearts for generations. Then there's the Chevrolet Corvette, America's sports car. For decades, it has been the benchmark for American performance, constantly evolving to challenge the best that Europe has to offer, often at a fraction of the price. The Corvette is the sophisticated athlete, always training, always improving, and constantly pushing the boundaries of technology. It started as a stylish cruiser and transformed into a world-class mid-engine supercar. It's the car that proves American engineering can be both powerful and precise. The Corvette is the well-rounded honor student, excelling in every subject from speed to handling to daily drivability, earning its place as a respected global competitor. And then, there's the Viper. If the Mustang is the popular hero and the Corvette is the polished athlete, the Viper is the mysterious, brooding anti-hero. It's the one that showed up to the party uninvited, smashed the stereo, and left with everyone talking. The Viper didn't care about being practical or accessible. It wasn't designed to be a daily driver or to win over the masses with creature comforts. Its mission was singular and brutal: to be the most extreme, most powerful, and most intimidating production car to ever come out of America. It was a pure, undiluted shot of adrenaline, a supercar in the truest sense of the word. The key difference lies in philosophy. The Mustang and Corvette, for all their power, were always designed with a broader audience in mind. They had to be producible in large numbers and appeal to a wide range of customers. The Viper, on the other hand, was a halo car. A low-volume monster built with a no-compromise attitude. It sacrificed comfort, practicality, and even basic safety features in its early days for the sake of raw performance. While a Corvette could be a comfortable grand tour, a first-generation Viper was a beast that actively tried to bite you. It was this radical, untamed nature that set the Viper apart and cemented its legendary status as America's true, unapologetic supercar. Every legendary car has a legendary engine, and the Viper's heart is one of the most famous of all, a massive, earth-shaking V10. The common myth you'll hear is that Dodge simply yanked a V10 engine out of its Ram truck, plopped it into a car, and called it a day. But the truth is way cooler and a lot more complex. Yes, the story does start with the cast-iron truck engine, but that was just the starting point, the rough block of marble before the master sculptor got to work. Chrysler knew that a heavy, slow-revving truck engine wouldn't work for a lightweight, high-performance supercar. They needed help to turn that lump of iron into a world-class powerhouse. So, who do you call when you want to make an engine legendary? In the late 1980s, Chrysler owned a little Italian supercar company you might have heard of. Lamborghini. That's right. The creators of the Countach and the Diablo. Chrysler tasked Lamborghini's engineers with a monumental job: take the basic architecture of the Dodge truck V10 and transform it into something worthy of a supercar. The Italian wizards got to work, recasting the entire engine block and cylinder heads in aluminum to slash weight. This was a critical step in turning a workhorse motor into a thoroughbred stallion, ready for high-revving performance. The Lamborghini team didn't stop at just changing the material. They completely redesigned the engine's internals, focusing on making it breathe better and rev faster. They optimized the intake and exhaust ports, refined the combustion chambers, and ensured the new aluminum block was strong enough to handle the immense power and torque they were targeting. The result was an 8-liter V10 that was significantly lighter, more powerful, and far more responsive than its truck-based ancestor. It was an Italian-engineered heart beating within an all-American beast. A perfect fusion of brute force and sophisticated design. So, while the V10's DNA can be traced back to a Dodge Ram, saying it's just a truck engine is a massive oversimplification. It's like saying a Navy SEAL is just a person who knows how to swim. The transformation it underwent was extraordinary. The involvement of Lamborghini gave the Viper's engine an exotic pedigree that few American cars could claim. It was this unique aluminum V10 that defined the Viper's character, producing a tidal wave of torque and a distinctive off-kilter soundtrack that was unlike anything else on the road. It was, and still is, one of the most iconic engines ever built. The legend of the Dodge Viper began not on a racetrack, but in the mind of a visionary automotive executive, Bob Lutz. In the late 1980s, Lutz, then the president of Chrysler, felt that the company's image had become too safe, too focused on minivans and K-cars. He wanted something to reignite the passion, a modern-day Shelby Cobra that would shock the world and put Dodge back on the map for high performance. He envisioned a minimalist, brutally powerful roadster with a massive engine, a car that was the complete opposite of the practical front-wheel drive vehicles that dominated Chrysler's lineup. It was a radical idea, a throwback to a bygone era of American muscle. Lutz didn't go it alone. He brought his idea to two other automotive legends. The first was Tom Gale, Chrysler's design chief, who was tasked with sketching out this modern Cobra. The second was the one and only Carroll Shelby, the father of the original Cobra, who was working as a consultant for Chrysler at the time. Shelby's involvement was crucial. He gave the project instant credibility and provided invaluable guidance on how to capture the spirit of his original creation. The mission was clear: build a simple, lightweight car with the biggest, most powerful engine they could find. It was a recipe for pure, unadulterated automotive excitement. The team worked with incredible speed. In 1989, just a few months after the initial idea was floated, they unveiled the Dodge Viper RT10 concept car at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. The public reaction was electric. People were stunned. In an era of aerodynamic, jelly bean-shaped cars, the Viper concept was a punch to the gut. It was long, low, wide, and impossibly aggressive, with a minimalist interior and those now iconic side-exit exhaust pipes. It looked less like a car, and more like a barely tamed predator. The crowd went wild, and letters and checks started pouring into Chrysler from people desperate to buy one. The overwhelming response convinced Chrysler's chairman, Lee Iacocca, to green-light the project for production. He was initially hesitant about pouring resources into such a niche, high-performance vehicle, but the public demand was undeniable. Iacocca gave the team the go-ahead, and Team Viper, a dedicated group of engineers and designers, was formed to bring the concept to life. Their goal was to keep the production car as true to the wild spirit of the concept as possible. This decision would define the Viper for years to come, setting the stage for one of the most outrageous production cars in history. When the first production Dodge Viper RT-10 rolled off the assembly line in 1992, it was, well, a machine of shocking purity. The engineering team had stayed remarkably true to the original concept's minimalist ethos. You see, this was not a car designed for comfort or convenience. It was a car designed for a singular purpose, to deliver the most visceral driving experience possible. To achieve this, the designers stripped away everything they deemed unnecessary. Now, the first Vipers, they had no roof, just a flimsy canvas top that was, honestly, a pain to install. They didn't even have exterior door handles or side windows. Instead, you got zip-up vinyl panels like on an old Jeep. This raw, stripped-down nature extended to the driving experience. In an age when other car makers were starting to add electronic driver aids, the Viper had none. There was no traction control to save you if you got too greedy with the throttle. There was no anti-lock braking system to help you stop in a hurry. Driving a first-generation Viper was a purely analog experience. It was just you, a steering wheel, 3 pedals, and a massive 8-liter V10 engine that produced 400 horsepower and a colossal 465 pound-feet of torque. Every input you made had a direct and immediate consequence, for better or worse. The car's design was equally uncompromising. The side-mounted exhaust pipes looked incredibly cool, but they also had a tendency to get scorching hot, earning them the nickname leg burners among owners who weren't careful when getting out. The interior was Spartan, with a dashboard that prioritized essential information, a big tachometer front and center, over luxuries like a glove box. It was a cockpit, not a cabin. This car demanded your full attention at all times. It was notoriously tricky to drive fast, with a tendency to snap oversteer if you weren't smooth with your inputs. It was a machine that rewarded skill but brutally punished mistakes. This unforgiving character is precisely what made the Viper a legend. It was a rebellion against the safe, sanitized direction the automotive world was heading. It was a car for true enthusiasts, a challenge to be mastered. Owning and driving one was a badge of honor. It told the world you weren't afraid of a little danger, that you valued raw connection over digital intervention. While later generations would become more civilized, adding features like a proper roof, windows, and ABS, the spirit of that first raw, unfiltered Viper would forever define the soul of the Serpent. It was and remains one of the purest sports cars ever made. A car as bold as the Viper needed an equally bold identity, and Dodge delivered with a series of memorable logos. The emblem for the first-generation Viper, used from 1992 to 2002, was nicknamed Sneaky Pete. This logo depicted a coiled, menacing Viper, seemingly calm, but ready to strike at any moment. It perfectly captured the car's personality, quiet and intimidating at rest, but dangerously fast when provoked. Sneaky Pete became an iconic symbol of the Viper's raw, untamed beginnings. It was a simple, powerful image that immediately communicated the car's predatory nature to anyone who saw it on the front fender. As the Viper evolved, so did its emblem. With the introduction of the redesigned second-generation car in 2003, a new logo was born. This one was nicknamed Fangs. It was a more stylized and aggressive design, showing the front view of a Viper's head with its fangs bared, ready for a fight. This change reflected the car's own evolution. The Gen 3 Viper was more powerful, more angular, and even more aggressive in its styling. The Fangs logo was a perfect match for this new, sharper-edged predator. It was a clear statement that while the Viper was becoming more refined, it had lost none of its venomous bite. The final evolution of the emblem came with the 5th and final generation of the Viper, which debuted in 2013. This new logo was named Striker. It was the most detailed and artistic of the three, showing a viper's head with an almost skeletal, determined look in its eyes. Striker symbolized a more mature, technologically advanced, and track-focused predator. It was a fitting icon for the most powerful and capable viper ever built. Another cool design detail on many vipers was the third brake light. It wasn't just a light, it was shaped like a viper's head, a subtle but clever nod to the car's identity that fans loved. Beyond the emblems, the Viper's design evolved significantly through its generations while always retaining its signature look. The first generation was all about smooth muscular curves. The second generation, which arrived in 1996 with the GTS Coupe, added the iconic double-bubble roof for helmet clearance. The third generation, from 2003, brought much sharper, more angular lines, a design that was surprisingly influenced by a clay model from an Alfa Romeo designer. This gave the car a more modern, exotic look. Finally, the fifth generation blended the curves of the original with the sharp edges of the third, creating what many consider the most beautiful Viper of all. Just when you thought the Dodge Viper couldn't get any more extreme, Dodge unleashed the ACR. The acronym stands for American Club Racer, and it was a name that perfectly described its mission, to be the most dominant street-legal track car on the planet. The ACR wasn't just a Viper, with a few extra horsepower and some stickers. It was a comprehensive, no-compromise performance package that transformed the already potent supercar into a record-shattering weapon. The first ACR appeared in 1999, but it was the later versions, especially the 2016 model, that would cement its legendary status in the automotive world. The secret to the ACR's incredible performance wasn't just raw power, although it had plenty of that. The real magic was in its aerodynamics and suspension. The final generation ACR was fitted with the Extreme Aero package, a wild collection of wings, canards, and diffusers that looked like they were ripped straight off a Le Mans race car. That massive, adjustable rear wing and front splitter could generate nearly 1 ton of downforce at speed. This incredible aerodynamic grip glued the car to the pavement, allowing it to corner at speeds that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It was a car that could pull over 1.5 Gs in the corners on its street-legal tires. To handle that immense downforce, the ACR featured a highly specialized suspension. It used manually adjustable coilover shocks from Bilstein, giving owners the ability to fine-tune the car's handling for specific tracks. The brakes were equally impressive, featuring massive carbon ceramic rotors from Brembo that provided incredible fade-free stopping power lap after lap. The tires were specially developed for the ACR by Kumho, the Extafi 720s, which were barely street-legal and offered near-slick levels of grip. Every single component of the ACR was optimized for one thing and one thing only: setting the fastest possible lap time. The results spoke for themselves. The Dodge Viper ACR went on a rampage, setting production car lap records at 13 different racetracks across the United States, including legendary circuits like Laguna Seca and Road Atlanta. It humbled supercars from Europe that cost 2, 3, or even 4 times as much. The ACR was the ultimate expression of the Viper's philosophy. It was a brutal, uncompromising, and staggeringly effective machine that proved American ingenuity could create a track car capable of beating the very best in the world. The ACR wasn't just the king of the Vipers, it was the king of the track. The Viper's legendary V10 engine was so unique and powerful that it seemed a shame to confine it to just one car. Chrysler knew they had something special, and over the years, they experimented with putting that 10-cylinder monster into some other, equally wild vehicles. The most well-known application outside of the Viper was, fittingly, in a truck. In 2004, Dodge unleashed the Ram SRT-10, a standard cab or a quad-cab pickup truck with the 8.3-liter, 500-horsepower V10 from the third-generation Viper shoehorned under its hood. It was completely absurd, and people loved it. It even held the Guinness World Record for the world's fastest production pickup truck for a time. But the V10's journey didn't stop with a truck. In one of the wildest chapters of automotive history, Dodge built a motorcycle around it. Yes, a motorcycle. The Dodge Tomahawk was a concept vehicle unveiled in 2003 that was essentially the Viper's V10 engine with 2 wheels at the front and 2 at the back. It was a rolling sculpture of pure insanity, a 1,500-pound beast that looked like something out of a science fiction movie. While it was never intended for mass production and its rideability was highly questionable, the Tomahawk remains a testament to the sheer audacity of the engineers at Dodge during that era. It was a four-wheeled middle finger to sensibility. The V10's influence even extended to other muscle cars in the Dodge lineup, albeit in a more conceptual form. In 2007, Dodge showcased a one-off Dodge Challenger concept car that was powered by a Viper V10 engine. This Viper Challenger mashup was a tantalizing glimpse of what could have been, combining the classic styling of the Challenger with the brutal power plant of the Viper. While it never made it to production, it fueled the dreams of Mopar fans everywhere and showed the versatility and enduring appeal of that incredible engine. The V10 became a symbol of ultimate Mopar performance. Even after the Viper was discontinued in 2017, rumors of its return have never truly died. Every few years, whispers and speculation surface about a new generation Viper. Some rumors suggest it could return with a modern, high-tech V8, while purists hold out hope for a new V10. Whether these rumors have any substance or are just the wishful thinking of a passionate fan base, they speak to the powerful legacy the car left behind. The idea of a world without the Viper just feels a little less exciting, and many are hoping that Dodge will one day resurrect its legendary Serpent for a new generation of thrill-seekers. The final Dodge Viper rolled off the assembly line at the Conner Avenue assembly plant in 2017, marking the end of a remarkable 25-year run. The reasons for its discontinuation were complex, including slowing sales and the inability to comply with new federal safety standards that required side curtain airbags, which the Viper's architecture couldn't accommodate. It was a somber day for the automotive world. America's most outrageous, unapologetic, and beautifully brutal supercar was gone. The silence left by its absence was deafening, a void in the high-performance landscape that no other car has quite managed to fill since. The Dodge Viper's place in American car culture is unique and unshakable. It was never a sales champion like the Mustang or a household name like the Corvette. It was something more special, more exclusive. The Viper was the ultimate halo car, a machine that existed to push boundaries and make a statement. It was a rolling embodiment of the American spirit of rebellion and raw power. For a quarter of a century, it was the car that posters were made of, the machine that kids dreamed about, and the benchmark for extreme performance that other car makers secretly measured themselves against. Its legacy lives on not just in the cars that still roam the streets and dominate track days, but in the spirit it infused into the Dodge brand. The Viper paved the way for the insane, high-horsepower creations that would follow, like the Hellcat and the Demon. It proved that there was a market for cars that were unapologetically loud, fast, and a little bit crazy. The Viper gave Dodge its swagger back, transforming its image from a maker of sensible family vehicles into a purveyor of modern American muscle. It was the fire-breathing dragon that guarded the castle of horsepower, inspiring a whole new generation of performance vehicles. In the end, the Dodge Viper was more than just a car. It was an experience, an attitude, a legend forged in aluminum, steel, and raw, untamed horsepower. It was a reminder that sometimes, the most memorable cars are the ones that refuse to compromise. They are the ones that challenge us, scare us a little, and reward us with an experience that is pure and unforgettable. The Viper may be gone for now, but its venomous spirit and thunderous V10 roar will echo in the hearts of car enthusiasts forever. It will always be remembered as America's true supercar, a legendary serpent waiting for the day it might strike again.